Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Super Bowl Film Room here on Philly Sports Network with myself, Liam Jenkins. We're a week removed from the Super Bowl 52 win and it's now time to take a look at Doug Pederson's greatest game as a play caller yet. Now, we've heard much about his schematics, his aggressiveness and his tendency to get the best out of his players, but what really made that Super Bowl game so emphatic? It's time to take a look at the eye in the sky and break it all down. We're going to go through this drive by drive and we'll start with a key third down. The Eagles are at midfield on their opening drive of the game and they're going to find Torrey Smith, where the Eagles simply trust in their players early on. You've got two safeties over the top on this levels concept. The entire design, draw the safeties away from the middle of the field and let Torrey Smith do the rest. And that is exactly what happened here. Now look at this. Nick Foles is going to take the snap and watch Torrey Smith to the outside. He's going to get great separation on his matchup and he storms outfield, sells the outside route so well, and look at the amount of space he's got. That's an easy throwing room for Nick Foles. There's no safety help over the top, and we move on to the second drive after a Jake Elliott field goal. And this is where things get interesting. It's a wheel route mesh concept, and this becomes a staple of this Eagles offense throughout the game. Now take a look at those linebackers and how many players they're going to have to account for when this play develops. Zach Ertz motions over the middle to signify that it's zone coverage, and now the linebackers have a decision to make. Do they jump on the receivers crossing in front of their face or sit patiently in their zones? The answer, by the time it's made up, Aguilar's already got the completion. The linebackers are simply too patient here, and it's a concept we see replicated throughout the game as a result. But if we're talking about something that symbolises the confidence Pederson has in his players, we have to talk about this incredible Alshon Jeffrey touchdown. It's play action, there's a single safety and two in breaking routes. That of course leaves Alshon Jeffrey one-on-one, and that is not a matchup you want with Eric Rowe. Jeffrey leaps over the top, makes an acrobatic catch like no other. The Eagles take an early lead. A couple of drives later, we move on to drive number 4 of the game. Momentum slowing after drive number 3. It was a little bit of a stop and start go, but after 2 short yardage runs, we see an explosive play from Zach Ertz here, and it's easy to see why. Ertz makes a stunning catch over the middle. We see him motioning inside, but watch the physicality on this route and the way he's able to push himself over on what's simply a spot. Now he's going to charge up and again sell that outside as he steps and just throw his shoulder inside. He's now got the advantage, and by the time the corner comes back over the top, it's too little too late, and Ertz has a huge first down over midfield. What Doug Pederson did so well in this game was adapt his offense to what the Patriots were showing him defensively. With a single safety over the top, it's man coverage against 3 wideouts, and what we're going to see is Alshon Jeffrey decimate this route in the slot. Meanwhile, Nelson Aguilar and Zach Ertz run quick comeback routes on the outside, drawing the attention of the safety long enough to buy Alshon Jeffrey time and give Nick Foles a window. Now this worked perfectly, a beautiful throw, a clutch catch, and the Eagles are deep in enemy territory. What followed next, of course, was a barreling LeGarrette Blount run, and I broke this down earlier last week with that incredible Jason Kelce block. We're gonna see it again there. Blount goes in for 6, the Eagles take a big lead. Now this drive was an important one. Drive number 6, 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. The Eagles have a 15-12 lead after the Patriots instantly responded. The goal here is to drain the clock. The Eagles need to move the chains. Now look at this. Nelson Aguilar with a great motion over the top brings one of the corners away, and that leaves a bunch formation on the left-hand side. It's Alshon Jeffrey and it's Torrey Smith. Jeffrey does a great job of pushing that block out the way. The second corner has so much room to compensate and come down. It's an easy catch all day long for the Eagles wide receiver, who's able to pick up massive yards and push the chains forward. That's the sort of football IQ this offense was so built on running. Now I mentioned earlier that wheel mesh concept. Well, now we're going to see it in full action as Corey Clement takes to the outside and puts on the burners for a huge gain for the Eagles just a couple of plays later. A dime by Nick Foles, but with so many assignments in zone coverage, the Patriots cannot handle it, and Corey Clement is the last player they would expect to come out in that formation. And now the Philly special. This one needs no introduction, it needs no analysis. The greatest trick play in franchise history, debatably. Trey Burton throws a beauty of a touchdown to Nick Foles, and the Eagles storm into half-time with a a big lead. The gate in the second half, the Patriots responded instantly from the opening kickoff. It's 22-19. Philly sticks to their game plan. Did I mention mesh concept at all? What we're going to see here is Corey Clement start outside, run back in, and then wheel his way back out for a deep play. But it's the action over the middle that makes this so dangerous as the receivers cross each other once again. The linebackers are lopsided, and watch where Foles places this football here. At that point, you've got a great block by Torrey Smith that buys Aguilar some time, who then does a great move. That's the action we need to watch. It's the blocks the receivers are making. They did not have this last year under Doug Pederson. DGB and company simply didn't do it. And on this play action, look, when everyone's thinking run, look at the other side, and Foles drops a dime again down the sideline. We're just seeing so many ways of players being utilised. It's not just on blocks, it's not just on screens or big receptions. Every player has got so much to give this offense, and that's what we're seeing. I'm going to mention the term wheel route again, and you probably know why by now, but what I want you to keep an eye out for is the key blocks here made by Mac Hollins and the tight end, who are incoherently going to run a crossing routes over the middle. But as Corey Clement comes out of that backfield and is storming towards the back, it sees two blocks from the wide receiver and the tight end. As Hollins pushes in to try and get a bit of a rub, the tight end's going to do the same, and that's all Clement needs to get a bit of a boost. The corner's distracted. It's a shot for Nick Foles, and it's a touchdown for the Eagles, who respond again. By this time, it's a shootout. It's not what Philly needed, but it's what Philly got. Now, before I get into the rest of the video, I did just want to fill you guys in as to why this video hasn't come out sooner. I'm actually working on an NFL draft cornerback consensus. It's a book that's going to be a free download for everyone and contain in-depth scout reports on every single draft eligible cornerback. Now, I know that Philadelphia don't need cornerbacks, but for me, it's my favourite position to scout and analyse, and I really wanted to put something together. So I don't want to be writing like 120 pages if no one's going to read it. So if you do want it, let me know in the comments. It should take a few weeks and be ready just after the combine, but just wanted to get it out there that this is being made, and it is kind of affecting, you know, two jobs and these sort of videos as well. Time was ticking. Brady responded. The Eagles needed to keep a rhythm for Foles, so what did they do? They handed him this shallow crossing route here on an RPO. Now this forces the linebacker to choose. It gives Foles a high-low read, and of course he takes the easy road and gives it to Torrey Smith all day long. The next play is a huge shot for Nelson Aguilar. The outside receiver steps in, and that just gives Aguilar enough to express his route running prowess, battle the single safety, and make a huge catch down the sideline. Confidence never wavered with this Philadelphia offense, and that was shown by their balance of the run game. Even though they were down by a point at one point, they still gave it to LeGarrette Blount, who barrels his way for a big gain. We're going to do a separate video completely on the run, and I'll understand why a little bit later. But again, we see some motion on the outside here that signifies for Foles that it is man coverage, and look at the options he's got. New England start closing in on these mesh routes now, but even there, where Aguilar's had to come out of two blocks, he still comes through the side. He was mashed up twice and still finds a way to make that reception. At this point, Aguilar comes alive and has the second half of dreams. But again, Nick Foles is trying to find a way through, and this is nothing but confidence from Doug Pederson when the game matters most. What we see from this very play is Aguilar in the slot. Be patient. Watch the step he takes. He knows that pass rush is coming. It's a lopsided defensive look on the strong side. It's 11 personnel where the Eagles slashed the Patriots all night long. They instead throw it to Aguilar, who goes off for a big gain. I mentioned earlier about how an unsuspecting Corey Clement actually stung the Patriots. He does it again here. The wideouts and tight ends clear that middle of the field. The linebackers drop back, and out sneaks Corey Clement again. Another big reception, and almost picks up a first down in a crucial second down scenario. But then came the game-winning touchdown. The Eagles motion their running back out to the backfield. That draws the attention of the safety, and all of a sudden, it's Zach Ertz one-on-one. On the opposite side of the field, it's a bunch formation. That's killed the Patriots all night long, and as they prepare for a predicted screen, they crash it. The safety comes down. Ertz is one-on-one, and it's a touchdown. Philadelphia get that crucial score, and Doug Pederson has called the confidence, the emphatic game of his career. It was a beautifully called game. He didn't deviate from his plan. Whether he was up by 2 scores or down by a couple of points, he never deviated away. He trusted the process, as we like to say here in Philadelphia. If you've liked this video, please give this a like, hit subscribe. We're over 1,000 subscribers now, and I can't believe how quickly this is growing. So thank you so much for all your support. Don't forget, phillysportsnetwork.com. You have daily Eagles content from me, Flyers content including exclusive prospect interviews from our guys like Jamie Basco, Derek Bobb, Brandon Summerman and Austin Mitchell. We've got a great thing going here at Philly Sports Network, so stick around. It's going to be a fun ride. We've got 3 more of these videos to go. I can't wait.